Hey family, it's Mr. Frederick coming right back at you. Quick message for everyone out there. I know uh, it's a great weekend. We have Father's Day coming up. This message mostly for a lot of my fathers out there like myself. And sometimes, well, I think a lot of times we don't get the appreciation that we deserve. We don't get the whatever you want to call it, accolades or respect, whatever, especially if you have quote unquote broken families, if you're not with the mother of the children. A lot of times that becomes a challenge for a lot of us, and we just, it's just what it is. They going to tell that story the way they tell it. Kids take it the way they take it. I was a kid, same thing. We all do that. But you have proximity to the mother, which often leads to, you siding, seeing things their way. But I want to say that as a father, although we don't get our due just, and a lot of times it's unwarranted, just a lot of untruths or just, one-sided stories going on out there. And I'm going to read a scripture that made me think about that because it can frustrate a lot of people, but Jeremiah talked about that and saying, you live in the midst of deception in their deceit. They refuse to acknowledge me, declares the Lord. Jeremiah 9. Another way of putting it is everyone will deceive his neighbor and will not speak the truth. They have taught their tongue to speak lies. They weary themselves to commit iniquity. And I say that to say that a lot of times it's just not true, the story being told about the fathers out there. We're loving, we're nurturing, where we've made sacrifices, we've done a lot of things that just don't get appreciated over the years. And I've been on the son end of it, I'm on the father end of it, but I'm expressive and I can only tell my story the way I tell it. And it's not to demonize anyone that I've had children with, but I can clearly say that obviously situations aren't always the way you want them to be, but it doesn't discredit you as a father and your efforts to do what you can with a situation that's not ideal. If you're not there to be able to teach that child your ways, your point of views, and that's why it's very important. Two things I want to point out as men. It's very important that we are selective about why we get with the mothers. So not giving them all of the blame, or rather, or putting all the responsibility on a mother or single mother at that. But it does take two to have a child. And we need to understand as men that we have to be very selective, because if your ideology, if your connection with that mother is not, if you're not on one accord and walking as a unit together, a lot of times your story, your part of everything is not going to be, it's not going to be poured through the child, through the mother, through anyone but you. And you have to rely on the Lord in that no matter how someone takes you or interpret your part in a relationship, you know the truth and God knows the truth. So we as fathers, we have no real power if we're not with that child over how that story is interpreted. And sometimes, even if the child see you, or they still interpret it the way they want. But understand that you are vindicated through the Lord, in every kind of way. So men out there, this is a man's message for fathers. Don't let that thing bother you. You make sure you stay close to the Lord and you follow him, and you understand that no matter what, you deserve your respect, you deserve your honor, and don't accept anything less at any time. And that's put forth by the Lord. And so you stand strong, you stand tall in what you believe in and how you walk. And the child shall follow the father. No other kind of way it goes. I don't care, what or how someone twists the story or want to make it whatever they want to make it. You know that the story starts with man and the rib being woman. There's no other way around it. And we all are imperfect. We all fall short of God's glory. But you never lose your glory. And anything that's said about you that's not true, or anybody that wants to interpret it in a negative way and not give you your due respect, don't worry about them. Because believe me, the Lord sees all. So no matter what, the God sees everything. So people can walk in deceit, they could walk in lies, manipulation, they could do all of that. You heard the word, it does not work. In the end, the truth always shines out, and you have to answer to your Most High for all the things that you've done that weren't right, and so do their mothers. But you as a father, you always keep your head up, and you always have your respect regardless of who wants to fall in line with that. On that note, enjoy your Father's Day. Peace.